Hi everybody, welcome to my channel. I am going to be sharing my first tutorial or idea, I guess, for using distress oxides on a scrapbook layout. So I've decided to use blues in this one, and these are the blue and teal colors that I have. So let's get started. The only thing you will need for this type of layout is some either watercolor paper. I've seen people use the marshmallow cardstock, and this one is the Vicki Boutin foundations paper, which is one of my favorites because it's smooth, super thick, so it takes on water well, and it's very white. So it seems to be my favorite due to those three, for those three reasons. So I'm going to go ahead and move these off of here, and I'm going to start here at the bottom, and all I'm going to do is I'm going to use this. Oh, you're going to also need a spray bottle of some sort. I'm using the Distress sprayer. I love how this sprays, and they do have it at Hobby Lobby and at AC Moore, where you can use at least a 40% off coupon. So I'm going to use just the pad itself as a stamp, and I think I'm going to do all of these at once. If this doesn't work this way, I've not tried this. Well, I've tried it once before, but not the way I'm doing it all at once. So I did not do a preliminary layout to do this. This is going to be it. So you're going to see all of my mistakes and everything else. I'm using the Heidi Swap mat underneath this, so that will be easy cleanup. And here we go. I'm going to go ahead and just stamp that there. Get a good stamp. I'm going to do the teal. And then I'm going to do the blue. And then the aqua. Sorry if my head is in the way. And I don't know what I'm going to do at the top. I'll add that later. And then I'm going to spray. And just kind of just keep spraying. Add some water. And get that color moving, and it's going to start running down my paper. That is my idea, to get some just natural lines across there, and that is what it's going to look like in the end. I've got to decide. I really want to add one other color up there. But I'm not sure. You know what I think I'll do? I am going to, let me get a paper towel real quick and mop up. Actually, I'm going to do where is my art journal? I always have it in a good spot that I can never find. Isn't that the case? Here it is. Instead of wasting that, I'm going to take my art journal, or I guess you would call it maybe a use it up journal or something like Inky Quill does. And I am just going to press that on there. Do that again. And again. Okay, cool. So that's what I got from that leftover paint. I'm going to set that aside to dry, and I will go ahead and clean up the rest. And I think what I'm going to do on that top part is do another of the teal, because I do need one other color. And then I'm going to spray again, get that running. You do have to use quite a bit of water, so don't be afraid. And that's why it's important that you use a really solid, thick cardstock. Now, I'm gonna let this just air dry, so I will come back to do some more. But before I do that, I want to give a little bit more texture to those paint splashes. So I'm going to just sprinkle some water on there just with my hands. I sprayed it in my hands, and then I just splattered it on there. And then I'm going to do this and just roll that off. And you'll see the great texture that it adds there. Plus I got a little bit of texture from the paper towel, which is cool also. Let me see, do I want to I'm just going to see what that does. You know what? I think I'm going to go ahead and just go over the whole thing like this. And kind of sop up the wetness on that. Oh, I love how that's turning out. So this is going to be my background. You could do it, use it this way, but I am going to do it this way because what I'm going to use this for is some photos of my son surfing. So I thought this would be a fun way to do a background, and having these lines kind of mimic the horizon of the ocean, and although they're straight lines, they're not waves, but anyway, I'm going to let this dry, and I will come back when it's dry and show you the rest of my process. All right, see you soon. I'm so glad you're back joining me. I want to just give you a reminder that there are a bunch of ladies down in the link below who also have videos with using distress oxides for their layouts. So I'd love for you to go check them out, subscribe to them. They're very talented, and I'm super excited to be doing this series with them. Keep in mind, we will be providing videos for the next 3 Thursdays with more inspiration. Now back to my layout. So I layered up my photos with some tracing paper, and you'll see I added some layered up pattern papers there at the bottom of my layout. And I wasn't intending on doing that originally, but once I saw the colors, that bottom color, which was faded jeans, really turned out to be more of a purple color, and I just didn't like the way that it flowed with the other colors. So I added that pattern paper, which I really love how it turned out, and it actually gives me a perfect place to put my title. So I'm going to start using some sequins, and I'm using several mixes from Spiegel Mom Scraps, and I'm picking out like the different shades of blues and teals, and adding those. And I also use a small kind of copper color, kind of looks like kind of the wood tone, but it's copper. It's not the wood sequins, and I love how it adds a little bit more sparkle. And this layout has very little embellishing, and I don't think it needs it. I feel as though if I would have added a bunch of embellishments, it would have taken away from the background and from the photos. So I laid out all the sequins. I used those wave die cuts, which I created on my silhouette. I again went to Google Images, put in wave PNG, and traced and cut those out. And I love how that adds a little more focus to the photos, but doesn't take away from the background. Now my title. I am using some wood veneer pieces that I have had in my stash forever. So I'm super excited to get these used up. And my title is going to be Good Times in the Surf. And originally I was going to paint that wood veneer, and I am so glad that I didn't, because now looking at it, it is a perfect match to the color of the water in those photos. And I just think it pulls everything together. I ended up putting a filter on those photos because the lighting was not good, and I felt like my son in the photos, he didn't pop out in the photos, and I found this filter on Snapseed, and although it turned the water a sand color, it did also highlight my son and his surfboard, which is what I want to focus on in the photo anyway. So I love how that turned out, and I love how the wood veneer really complements the color of the water in the photo. Now, since I'm using wood veneer in the title, it was important to me to spread out some wood veneer somewhere else on the layout. So what I used were some tiny wood veneer stars, and I just scattered those amongst the sequins, and I love how that also pulls everything together. Now you'll see at the top I have it's a branding strip actually, and I didn't intend on putting that there either, but I did add some stitching to the page of waves, and I don't know if I had my head tilted or what I did when I was poking those holes at the top, but it was just wonky. So I used that branding strip to cover that up, and I think that looks okay too. Kind of gives a place for your eye to stop there at the top of the layout. So once I get done spreading out all the sequins and the wood veneer, I go down and I work on my title. Now you'll see that that does get cut off. Unfortunately, my phone was alerting me that I had low battery and I didn't realize it had stopped filming, but you will see the title at the end. And like I said, I used the 2 wood veneer pieces, and then the middle part of the title I used those tiny foam white letters. I think they came in a Paige Evans collection where it came with the white and the navy alphabets. And I went back and forth as to whether I wanted the white or the blue. And in the end, I decided to stick with the white. And I just love how that turned out. So in the end, I feel like I accomplished my goal here. I love how the Distressed Oxide inks look. I love how the whole layout is just focusing on the background and the photos. It didn't take much embellishing. It was super, super easy. You could mix and do different colors. You could do fall colors. You could do a fun birthday layout with, different birthday colors. You could do a rainbow color. And I just love it. You could do different orientations. So here's my close-ups. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions about how if I didn't explain clearly my process, please leave comments below and I will certainly explain it more. Thanks.